Today is the all final day of Sangha of Gyatso and according to that here our two Guru Buches and then all the lamas and all the Sangha members, everybody with your own devotion and faith and trust, especially that we all could be together, that we could do enough purification and also accumulate enough merit and wisdom that with this merit we could be a positive condition for our late Gyatso on his path, that there were no any obstacles or obstructions, even though for Rinpoche himself, of course, that doesn't need anything what we could do, because he's already, in his high realization, at the same time, the sense of the enlightenment that doesn't need any support, but from our side, that to purify our own obscurations and karma, and at the same time to show our respect and homage to Rinpoche. So that is I think the main purpose. We are just gathering here to perform this Tosim Ladu and to support many other prayers and practice. As in the text says, the Guru is the condensed nature of the past, present, future Buddhas, and the Guru is the representation of the Guru Deva Dakini, and Guru's essence is the Dharmakaya, Sambhokaya, Nirmanakaya. So in that way, how all the higher Vajrayana country texts explains, as we read and as we do these puja prayers, how profound and precious it is, that which is to know the ones kind of good gurus, the nature, even though it is inseparable of the three kayas, Dharmakaya, Sambhokaya, and Nirmanakaya, and according to that, that how it is kind of perfect. So also in the text says, whether Guru is present in life, whatsoever one could please him and do service and do kind of possibility of how that Guru can feel happy and good and positive feeling about the disciples or about the kind of followers. But at the same time, even Guru passed away, that is relatively to show us that how our life is anyway, impermanence. The moment we born, that is the next moment, that is the sign of death. So according to that, now how we could not realize the impermanence or uncertain death is next moment. And still we are always become just very optimistic that I'll not die today, or not tomorrow, or not next week, not next month, year. And we always look just almost like we are not going to die. So that is why these our great gurus, they want to show us, even there in this high level of realization and perfection, but it still goes through kind of change of life, like in Shakyamuni Buddha and so forth. Except the Guru Padmasambhava and Vimala Mitra is the only one, those who never pass away within that rainbow body, still in kind of like a relatively also saying that alive. Other than that, just kind of how we go through transmigration of our life. So, however, that whether Guru is present or pass away, according to that, whatever we can do, all this purification and pujas and so forth, it is still for ourselves to accumulate merit and our own purifications. And according to these kind of like a text, even the Buddha, whether he is alive or even his relics, stupas and so forth, whatever we do, all these puja, prayer, offerings accumulate the merit same. In that same way, here also even Guru passed away, but whatever continuously we could do, it would be in that same manner. So now, in our relative sense, Guru passed away, but Guru's enlightened mind is always with us, especially in the Dzogchen text says, so that means the Guru, the external appearance of the Guru in the relative sense, just kind of like it passes away in Mahaparinirvana. But the enlightened mind never separate with us because of that kind of true nature. At the same time, as long as we have faith, and devotion, and trust, and also experiencing the great kindness of the Guru or the great blessing of the Guru and the great care of the Guru to us is like physically and especially through the speech, all those empowerments, Dharma teachings, instructions, and big instructions, whatsoever it is given to us, that is the only way if we engage into practice properly, not just for like a one day or kind of few days or few weeks or month, until we just in one way until we die, and moreover until this samsara could be kind of like empty. Till to that, just we have to follow the Guru's teaching instruction with kind of ourselves, and we have to remember that. And with all this, then in the Vajrayana, the Samaya, the words of honors, of course, I don't have to explain anymore. You all are the great Vajrayana yogis and yoginis, and been in Vajrayana how long? Maybe some are maybe 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, or even 10 years. So that not only that, how David Gaduramache has also taught in the kind of based on the text, in a like a spiritual way, and at the same time, as we know how he is just always externally shows very funny, but always there is some instruction. Always there is something that one should recognize. There is always something one should remember, and that kind of touching. Always those things touching our ego, the pride. What we think I am or good. And always think smart and always think learned. So this is the biggest problem of sentient beings, that kind of ego. So he directly points out our mistakes, or even with just some kind of nickname, that how it hits, and train your mind, just what is all about it. So that is the like skillful means of the master, just how to relate with each and every individual mind strings or faculties that what it works with. But as you all know, or even myself been here America for a while, the American egos are so big. So that is why I don't know how much it helped to recognize your ego, to reduce it, or it may sometimes hurt your ego. But now this is the time to realize, to understand what it means, instruction, big instruction, and that which we can relate with all these Dharma textbooks, how it is explained very clearly. So, with that, to maintain the samaya, not just only with the Guru, among the Bajra brothers and sisters, what we say, Bajra Tojipindo. In Vajrayana, if we could not just maintain that, then how much knowledge we have, how much importance we receive, how much teachings we receive, how much Dharma textbooks we collect, but if the kind of samaya is broken, then all everything gets spoiled. So that is why just even Guru pass away, we still have to maintain those kind of samayas properly, and that what means kind of like these are afflictive emotions. The next to the pride, ego, or ignorance is the afflictive emotions, where we could be jealous of something, or where we could be just feeling hateful to someone, where we could be prideful of one's knowledge, or where we could be just angry with the for sometimes for small things. So at that time we must have to remember the samaya. We must have to remember the Guru's teaching, instruction, and any other individually whatsoever specific instructions are given. One just remember and just reflect back and look into one's mind. That is what we need to train, to let it go all this kind of afflictive emotion and the ignorance and pride. And for that we have to kind of carry through this Guru Yoga. Guru Yoga, the Guru's enlightened body, speech, mind, and then one's body, speech, mind. Just as we go through the Guru Yoga, mingle together, and then experiencing one's own primordial pure nature, that which is always non-dual or inseparable with the one's root guru. So in that way, then resting into meditation. But according to the Dzogchen, there is not necessarily a meditation. There is a sense of experiencing and abiding in our natural state of the primordial nature, and that itself is where we are never ever separated with one's guru. And guru is there, oneself is there, one's own primordial pure nature. And that way, to accomplish that, then the Mahaparinirvana, these pujas, that of course, that every year to do all these kind of Tosemamachopa or whatever, according to Rinpoche has taught, need to do, and also follow the Rinpoche's kind of all the instruction, how we have to just maintain. And main thing is we need to properly engage into practice, and the practice is only the best way, best offering, the best thing that we could do to please the just one's guru, or please all the Buddhas, to please all the object of refuge, and also please all the Vajra brothers and sisters. And only through that we could actualize that the samsara is not separate from the nirvana, and nirvana is not separate from samsara, which means the Kodder Ronyam, the one test of the samsara and nirvana, is just in our mind. Through the practice we could kind of experience this way. Even though I'm not the kind of right person to talk in front of all these great practitioners, but still somehow Sangha Kandula and that Machanam and Sonam, and so what they say, if you can say a few words, so that's why I also feel very devoted to Gyatso. He has been also very kind to me. That first time Rinpoche I met in 1970s with Sangha Kanto, and Rinpoche came to Varanasi when I was studying there to visit the Khenchen Padesharam. And then later in America, the 1991, when I brought my mama to see my sister, so then in Oregon, I met with the Rinpoche, and he has been just always very direct to me, also that how I should understand to live in America. And I have been just always very shy and could not ask anything. That Rinpoche said, if you are shy and do like this, you will never get anything and you may die with hunger. So he told me, whatever you want, have to tell. Kind of ask, want this, you have to say it. Otherwise, they don't have clear voice. So anyhow, that way also I asked Rinpoche, because the Chökyi Tudo Rinpoche is in Massachusetts. So I asked him, I want to just visit Tudo Rinpoche. then he said, oh, you don't worry. I have already, kind of invited Dr. Rinpoche here in Oregon, Tashichuling, whenever his temple finish, that Rinpoche already committed that when you finish, he will come. So that was very true. And after a few days, then Dr. Rinpoche came in Oregon, Tashichuling, of course, received so many importance and teachings, and also had a very nice time just being with all these great masters, like for a picnic outside. And that time there is some, one time is with Gyatso, some snow, but still we went out. And with the Gyatso, we had a very nice picnic outside, and receive some kind of instruction and practices. So in that way, in so many ways, I have so much respect and devotion to kind of Rinpoche. Whatever Rinpoche kind of asked me or told me, that there is no way I can refuse anything. But also I didn't just make a serious commitment. However, kind of as our kind of Sangha, we all have to just anyway get into those kind of practices and to maintain the Samaya. And then Mahapari Nirvana Puja, if you all can do every year. So those are things what we can do. So then the next important is we all, as we do all this aspiration prayer of Rinpoche's kind of reincarnation may come soon for all the Sangha members, specifically who are more responsible, that they have to be very careful that we could have the right reincarnation of Rinpoche himself. These days, kind of the reincarnation tools that many things can happen. So that is why just where you request to recognize and how can recognize, and for that they also do lots of puja prayer, especially clearing out obstacles prayers, so that not be mistaken and we could get the right one, and then again we can continue same like our late Holiness Pen Rinpoche. Now how he is kind of like a recognized by Dr. Rinpoche in such a way, and everything is spontaneously accomplished, and all the causes conditions are very successful in so many ways. There is no tiny bit of doubt about it. Everything is just exactly how it should be recognized and how it should be find out the kind of true reincarnation. So in that way, we all hope and pray and do our practice and purification that we can find also the Rinpoche's reincarnation back, and then still can continue within one mandala until we attain complete enlightenment.